Hey guys, so I want to talk a little bit about keeping up your practice. Um, if you're doing well with practice, then you probably don't need this video, but it's kind of good to check out anyways. Because eventually you might come to a point where you're starting to get bogged down with things, and it's going to have a hard time finding the time to practice. So it'd be good idea to check this out anyways. So one of the common things is if when I see people where their practice is way down low and I address it with them, it's usually I get hear things like, um, I just got way too much homework to do, and then I got to sports after school, and I just don't have time. Or with adult, it's I gotta work, I got the kids, dinner, and everything. I just don't have the time, or I'm just too tired and wiped out to practice. And usually, um, what happens is the problem there is your whole goal. I mean, not really the goal, but your whole thinking of when you go sit down and practice. So normally you might practice for say 30 minutes, or more. So day comes by and it's like, oh my God, I got so much to do. I just don't have a half an hour to sit down and practice today. I'm going to skip it today. And the next day, more stuff comes by and happens, and it's like, oh, I don't have a half an hour here. I'm going to have to just, tomorrow I'll work on it. I just don't have that time. Next day comes, oh, I'm too tired, and it just keeps going on before you know it. You haven't practiced for 2 weeks straight. So, what you need to do is change your mindset. If you really want this to play, then you're gonna find the time. There's just no way. You can find some time to practice. You got to make it a little bit more of a priority. I know a lot of stuff in life is a big priority, but if you're constantly putting everything else above it, and that's way down on the list, then you're not going to get around to practicing, and you're just wasting your time. So what you need to do is begin by changing your mindset towards practice. So instead of worrying about, oh my God, I don't have a half an hour, or I don't feel like practicing, you need to go at it as, all right, let me just pick it up for 10 minutes. That's all I need. Even if it's 5 minutes, you know, you can't tell me you can't find 5 or 10 minutes out of a day to pick up the guitar and play. Um, so you go at it with that. You sit down. If you start practicing, you might, like 9 times out of 10, you're going to really start getting into it, and then you're going to end up practicing longer. Well, all of a sudden, that little 10-minute practice turned into a half an hour practice, and so all of a sudden, boom, you got your practice in, where before you're making excuses of why you don't have the time, but boom, you got your 30-minute practice in. If for some reason you don't get in your you don't expand beyond that, at least you got like 10 minutes of practice. That you got something in there. You picked up the guitar. And plus, if you think about it, if you keep having those excuses and you don't practice for, a week because it just wasn't any time, well, you got zero practice in. Where if you practice, you can pick up the guitar, say 10 minutes each day, then yeah, what do you got there? You got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. You got over an hour's worth of practice, an hour and 10 minutes of practice. And but even if you don't do it every day, you most of the days out of the week, you got close to an hour of practice. So that is a lot better than zero. And over a month, yeah, what do you got there? You got about 4 to 5 hours worth of practice. So, although you'll try to go I'd rather you not do 10 minutes for like doing that as your regular thing, like for months and months. But anyways, I think you get the point. So just go at it with 10 minutes, as your goal. And again, even if it's you don't have 10 minutes, even 5 minutes, and that's better than nothing. And then here's another tactic you can use. You don't have a real lot of time. You can take 5 minutes here, grab something, run through a part of a song that you're struggling with for 5 minutes. Another little bit later in the day, you go ahead and grab something else for 5 minutes. Later in the day, you could grab, in the evening, you could find 5 minutes again to work on something. And there you go. You had not only 10 minutes, but you had 15 minutes of practice that day. And again, that's a heck of a lot better than zero at all, and especially since if you do that each day, that's going to be really good. So, obviously, if you can get in a half an hour or more every day, that's better. But again, it's all about just finding those little spots, and getting some work in. And then what happens usually is you kind of get in the groove. If you're practicing 10 minutes a day, then at least you have a time when you keep going over and practicing, and that could lead to like, okay, now I'm kind of in the groove here, and you start making them longer. 10 minutes turns into 20 minutes, 20 minutes turns into half an hour, and could even expand more. So so the moral of this story is, whenever you're going to practice, don't go at it with, I'm going to practice 30 minutes to more, longer every single time. Go at it if you have the time, you're motivated, definitely go at it with that attitude. But other times when you start feeling, oh, I'm too tired, I just don't have the time, and all these other excuses you give yourself, well, that's the time when you go at, I'm just going to pick it up for 10 minutes or even 5 minutes if need be. Just picking it up, getting it in your hands, and just starting to work on something. That's the way you need to go at it, because that usually leads to more. But again, if it doesn't, at least you picked it up and you're moving your fingers on there and stuff that, almost daily, if not daily. It's better to pick it up for 5 minutes 7 days a week, every single day, than to pick it up once a week for an hour or something. It's better to pick it up every day. The more you pick it up on different days, the better it is. So yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to make a little video on some good ways to attack practice, especially if you see that you haven't practiced in a while. So you gotta stop giving yourself excuses. Stop giving yourself this big goal of, oh my God, I can't get in my 30 minutes. I'm not practicing today. Yeah, don't do any of that. Just go at it give yourself a little small goal, and then go at it from there. And then I think that will help everything out. You'll start getting back into the groove again, and hopefully that'll lead to you doing more longer practices. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to create this video on practicing for you and send it over. So if you have any questions on this, let me know. Otherwise, get practicing, and we'll see you in the next lesson.